James Salzman, Drinking Water, A History. Dive into the fascinating history and significance of drinking water as we explore the book Drinking Water, A History, by James Salzman. Discover how water was perceived across different societies over centuries, its role in the Roman Empire, and the struggles faced in sourcing and maintaining clean water supplies in urban areas. Unravel the challenges of water treatment and uncover the potential dangers lurking within the bottled water industry. Lastly, as you navigate through the world of water preservation, learn about our current water crisis and the innovative solutions being proposed to tackle it.
The enigmatic allure of water. Throughout history, water has held a curious position in society. It was often perceived as unfit for consumption by the upper classes, only suitable for the poor or those unable to drink wine or beer. However, this didn't stop beliefs in the magical properties of water, with numerous legends and tales circling the globe about enchanted wells and springs that could grant immortality or rejuvenation. Despite the historical aversion to drinking water, its mystical allure continues to captivate cultures around the world. Water, a seemingly ordinary element of life, holds a fascinating and paradoxical history. In ancient Roman society and beyond, it was frowned upon as a beverage for commoners, with upper classes preferring wine or beer. Water was often reserved for children, slaves, and women who couldn't consume alcoholic beverages. This attitude persisted for centuries, even among the first pilgrims to the New World. Notwithstanding this view, water has been associated with magical properties in various cultures. Tales of holy water from enchanted springs, wells, and other sources are woven into the folklore of many civilizations. The Fountain of Youth, pursued by the Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon during the 16th century, serves as a prime example of this intrigue. Similar stories come from Norse mythology, where the god Odin sought a transformative water that flowed beneath Yggdrasil, a tree connecting all worlds. In Islamic lore, Alexander the Great's advisor Khidr discovered a spring that granted immortality after venturing through the land of darkness. Such mystic reverence for water persisted well into the modern era. As late as the 15th century, English judge Sir John Fortescue believed consuming water was an act of devotion. Even today, people travel from around the world to drink water from a spring in Lourdes, France, where Bernadette Soubirous, a miller's daughter who saw the Virgin Mary 18 times, was canonized as a saint after her death. It appears that while historical attitudes toward drinking water were tainted by social prejudices, the enchanting allure of its magical potential has remained an enduring fascination. Rome's legacy, aqueducts and politics. The Romans forever changed our relationship with water, being the first civilization to provide free water to their citizens and introduce water into private homes. Over 500 years, they constructed 11 impressive aqueduct systems, some spanning over 50 miles and supplying 30 million gallons of water daily. Initially created to support bathhouses, the third aqueduct was built in 144 BC for drinking water. Roman politics shaped Rome's water supply when Emperor Augustus utilized it as a tool to ward off uprisings by increasing public water stations, known as lacus, within the city. These lacus were adorned with decorations proclaiming their connection to the emperor, reminding citizens of the benefits of living under the empire. Ancient H2O fears to clean water revolution. In the past, ancient societies favored beer and wine over water due to the potential risk of illness from consuming contaminated H2O. The correlation between contaminated water and diseases like cholera remained unknown, leading to unsanitary conditions in urban centers like New York City. The 1800s marked a turning point, with cities like Philadelphia implementing clean public water systems, largely due to Benjamin Franklin's generosity. As the understanding of the connection between water and disease grew, John Snow's groundbreaking work in epidemiology revealed the cause of cholera outbreaks. Subsequently, cities started introducing proper sanitation and increased access to clean water, significantly improving life expectancies. Throughout history, many societies favored beer and wine over water because consuming contaminated water could lead to severe illnesses. However, the reasons behind such water-related ailments remained a mystery, causing unsanitary living conditions in crowded cities like New York City. In 1748, journalist reports described New York City's drinking water as heavily polluted by waste from humans, animals, and industries. Despite these issues, clean and safe public water systems took time to be established. As a result, numerous people lost their lives during epidemics, such as the tragic 1832 cholera outbreak that claimed 3,500 lives. It wasn't until Philadelphia installed a clean water system, largely due to Benjamin Franklin's support, that New York City pursued similar measures to improve the city's health conditions. From the mid-19th century onwards, the significance of clean drinking water became apparent. People had previously linked diseases like cholera to airborne pathogens, but they slowly realized the true origin: contaminated water. John Snow, a London physician, played a pioneering role in this understanding. He is often credited with inventing epidemiology, a field that studies disease patterns within populations. Snow was instrumental in linking the 1854 cholera outbreak in London to a contaminated water pump on Broad Street, marking the first ever evidence of polluted water causing cholera. As cities eventually understood the importance of proper sewage and cleanliness, they started implementing effective sewer systems and increasing access to clean water. This major shift contributed to a substantial rise in life expectancies, offering a healthier future for urban populations. Quenching the thirst of cities. The surge of demand for clean water around the 20th century compelled industrialized cities to explore new water sources. This challenge was particularly evident in New York City, where early attempts at building water infrastructure, such as the Manhattan Company's project at the Couch Hook Pond, led to health issues from contaminated water. Subsequent endeavors saw the construction of a new water system that connected the city to the upstream waters in Croton and the distant Catskills, providing New York City with water even today. Across the pond, London's contaminated Thames led to the infamous Great Stink in 1858, prompting more concerted efforts by John Snow and Edwin Chadwick to create a cleaner water source. Government intervention eventually resolved London's water woes, diminishing the unpleasant stench that once plagued the city. The untold reality of drinkable water. Clean, drinkable water seems like a given, but the journey it has to undergo to reach us is loaded with challenges. Freshwater sources often contain contaminants like bacteria and animal excrement, and to make matters worse, we humans contribute to the problem with our pharmaceutical use. As these chemicals escape our bodies and end up in our water supplies, even advanced water treatment systems like chlorination and ultraviolet exposure might not be adequate to render water completely safe. We often take for granted the clean, drinkable water that flows from our taps, but the truth is, the process of making that water safe for consumption isn't a walk in the park. It begins with tackling the significant contaminants present in our freshwater sources, including bacteria and animal waste. Recent times have seen an increase in pollution due to human activities, such as using endocrine disruptor-heavy medications. Endocrine disruptors are organic chemicals that disturb the balance of hormones and can cause problems in immune and reproductive systems. Alarmingly, studies have shown high levels of such chemicals in various wildlife, like the beluga whale in Canada, which had quantities of polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, exceeding the toxic waste threshold by tenfold. This contamination largely results from medications we consume, as the chemicals exit our bodies unprocessed and enter water sources. Thankfully, technology has allowed us to develop numerous methods of water treatment, with some dating back to the early 1900s when Middelkerk, Belgium, first introduced chlorine to kill bacteria. Fast forward to the present day, where ultraviolet exposure systems have come into play, providing more advanced ways to purify water. However, this brings us to an important question: are these treatment methods sufficient? Concerningly, recent research on drinking water in the United States indicates that they might not be. The study found that 56 different pharmaceuticals or their byproducts were present in the treated water reaching 40 million citizens. Thus, while our current technology has made significant strides in water purification, there remains room for improvement to guarantee absolute safety. The fragile state of drinking water. The idea of someone poisoning our water supply seems like something out of a movie, but the vulnerable stages of water provision make it entirely possible. From break-ins at water storage facilities to contamination by bird droppings, the safety of our drinking water can easily be compromised. While over 60,000 chemicals are in use in the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, recognizes only 91 as legal contaminants, further demonstrating the delicate nature of water safety. The efficacy of the EPA is also heavily dependent on various factors, such as leadership and the allocation of resources. In the memorable movie, Batman Begins, Gotham's waters are infiltrated by Scarecrow, who deposits a lethal toxin into the water supply. It's easy to assume that this scenario seems far-fetched, but in reality, our water supplies can actually be pretty vulnerable. The process of water provision includes sourcing, treating, and distribution. During the distribution stage, a storage facility connects to individual taps in the neighborhood, and here is where the water is most vulnerable to contamination. Take, for example, an incident that occurred in Blackstone, Massachusetts in 2006. A group of teenagers broke into a water tower, and as a result, the town's water had to be flushed and tested at a cost of $40,000. This seemingly harmless prank becomes a more dangerous example of how the actions of just one person can put the health and safety of an entire community at risk. In 1993, a more harrowing case unfolded in Gideon, Missouri, where 7 people lost their lives due to salmonella poisoning caused by bird droppings contaminating the water supply. While numerous facilities employ protective measures for safeguarding their water tanks, this doesn't hold true for all. The effectiveness of water protection measures largely depends on the resources allocated to them. While the EPA aims to maintain the cleanliness of drinking water, its success depends on its leadership and budget. This leaves us wondering, how truly secure is our most essential resource, water? Bottled waters rise to fame. A mere 4 decades ago, bottled water was nowhere near as prominent as it is today, with the United States now opening over 1,500 bottles per second. How did it gain such popularity? 3 key factors contributed to its success: the fitness boom in the 1970s, convenience, and high profitability. Brands like Perrier played a significant role in these developments, linking water to health and fitness while also providing conveniently sized bottles. Moreover, companies like Coke and Pepsi can now purchase 1,000 gallons of municipal water for bottling at just the price of a single bottle, creating substantial profit margins that only fuel the bottled water market's growth. Even high-end restaurants offer water sommeliers to suggest the perfect variety for your meal, reflecting the cultural differences in taste and appreciation for bottled water between Americans and Europeans. Bottled water's hidden truths. Is bottled water truly better than tap water? The answer might surprise you. Despite popular belief, bottled water is not subject to the same rigorous testing that tap water undergoes. Recent studies reveal traces of harmful substances like arsenic and lead in bottled water, with some brands even containing more bacteria than tap water. The tremendous increase in bottled water consumption, from 300 million gallons in the 1970s to almost 9 billion gallons annually, also raises concerns about its environmental impact. Producing plastic bottles requires large amounts of water, and millions of them end up in landfills every day. It's time to reconsider the real cost of bottled water, both for our health and the planet. The global water access struggle. Even ancient Rome had impressive water and sewage systems, yet many regions in the modern world still struggle with basic water provision. In 2002, the United Nations declared access to water a fundamental human right, though some nations abstained from the vote, while others, such as India and South Africa, have integrated similar rights in their legal systems. Post-apartheid South Africa attempted to provide free daily water allowances but faced challenges with collecting payments and maintaining accurate records due to faulty pipes. Both poor and wealthy nations grapple with the high costs of building and maintaining water systems, highlighting the global necessity to improve water access and infrastructure. Even though ancient Rome's water and sewage systems are considered advanced, many modern societies face challenges in providing clean and accessible drinking water. In 2002, the United Nations declared access to water as a basic human right, requiring governments to ensure water provision for their citizens to avoid disease and dehydration. 4 countries, Canada, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States, abstained from voting on this motion. In contrast, 15 other countries, including India and South Africa, acknowledged the right to water within their legal systems. Following the end of apartheid, South Africa amended its constitution to provide 6.6 gallons of free water daily to each citizen, charging for additional consumption. However, revenue from those exceeding the limit did not cover overall costs, mainly due to difficulties in collecting payments and inaccurate usage monitoring caused by faulty pipes. The struggle for adequate access to water is not limited to impoverished nations, as the high cost of building and maintaining water systems pose challenges worldwide. Arguments for and against privatizing water systems divide opinions further on finding solutions. In the United States, outdated infrastructure, with pipes dating back to the 1800s, results in 6 billion gallons of lost water every day due to pipe bursts. Repairing this aged water infrastructure would cost the nation an estimated $335 billion, illustrating the urgent need to address water access issues on both national and global scales. Quenching Earth's thirst. Earth's water supply remains constant without any new sources, leading to a battle for water security. The Great Lakes, holding 20% of the world's freshwater, became a political battleground when a U.S. company planned to ship water to Asia. Meanwhile, icebergs at the North Pole are considered potential sources of the cleanest freshwater. Solutions such as desalination, improved treatment centers, and dual water systems are being explored to meet future needs. While Earth's water cycle continuously recycles, the planet's supply of water never increases. Surprisingly, we're still consuming the same water from the time dinosaurs roamed. With no new sources appearing, people around the world are grappling to provide water to those in need or protect what sources they already possess. A prime example is the Great Lakes, where 20% of the world's freshwater is situated between Canada and the United States. When the U.S. company Nova Group gained a license to ship 600 million liters of water from Lake Superior to Asian regions, politicians exploited the situation for their own interests. Consequently, the Great Lakes St. Lawrence River Basin Water Resources Compact came into effect, preventing surrounding 8 states from exporting large quantities of water, causing some to question the legitimacy of this control. On another front, some people are targeting unclaimed sources of water, specifically the icebergs at the North Pole. These enormous freshwater reserves are believed to contain the purest water on Earth, creating an all-out race to secure an iceberg and profitably convert it into drinking water. Researchers have even suggested that transporting a 7 million ton iceberg from Greenland to the Canary Islands is feasible, only losing about 3 million tons en route. Alternative options for securing water supplies include desalination processes that convert saltwater into freshwater, improved treatment centers that safely recycle sewage water, or increased implementation of dual water systems. These systems designate separate taps for drinking and cooking and for other tasks, like washing cars. As the world fights for water, these innovations and discoveries help quench Earth's growing thirst.
In conclusion, Drinking Water, a History, provides an insightful journey through the ever-changing role of water in our lives. From being considered suitable only for the lower classes to becoming a magical, sought-after elixir, water has continued to grow in importance. As we face the challenges of sourcing and maintaining clean water supplies, it is evident that our relationship with water is evolving. The rise of the bottled water industry and the need to protect our shared resources emphasize the urgency to adapt to environmental and societal demands while also ensuring the accessibility and quality of water for everyone. This book reveals the intricacies of water's history, leaving us with a deeper understanding of its significance in our daily lives and a greater appreciation of the resource we often take for granted.